Hey, how you doing? Tony Wasinski, official aerator of the podcast, and coming out of the White Sox celebration party, division champs, baby. Here he is, Frankie Bergasetti.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, man, you tell me. I saw you pounding them with Giolito. You looked good in the clubhouse.
Unbelievable. Had a couple great tasting less fillings. Haven't done that since I had a few with Creedy back in 05, so it was unbelievable.
Where do you get all this access from? I always see in the back of the local newscast on the WGN, it's like, oh, here comes Frankie Bergasetti.
That's what I do. I go in there, have some nice Miller Lights with the crew and with the team, and it's always great. You know, let me tell you, a lot of stories. Joe Creedy,
El Duque.
El Duque, he loves the great tasting less fillings. A lot of stories, but I'll keep it above deck right now. But just know the guys all love him.
Mm-hmm. The Bat Boys, he's over 21 too. So if you see Mikey in there getting crazy, he's having a good one. That's great tasting, less filling, 96 calories. The best beer on the planet. We've loved it forever.
Oh, yeah. So next time you're getting ready to enjoy cold ones with your crew, go to MillerLite.com/redline to find the delivery options near you. Or you can pick up Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Joe Creedy, fine ball player. Hey, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chicago sports fans. This is Carl, Dave,
Chief,
Eddie.
And this is Redline Radio, an all-gas, no-break Chicago sports podcast brought to you by Barstool Sports Chicago, brought to you by Miller Lite. Do you want to start good stuff? Okay. I was going to see if Dave wanted to celebrate anything, but let's get there.
I would much rather. I mean, there's so much shit to pile on about that game. I'd much rather talk about, like, Dave's high school baseball coach and Dave's beer fucking chug that Chief posted. I think we're in a more jovial mood at the moment. We've had a couple days, and anytime you think about that.
But those are two, like, negative things as far as Dave's concerned.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So, the three of us would be in a jovial mood. Dave, like... That's just more opportunities to roast Dave.
Explain the beer chug.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, they're gone.
Oh, what a bitch. I'm next. Finish it up. All right.
I'm not good at chugging. I told him that there was a disclaimer. I'm like, this is not going to end well, but of course I did it. Yeah. Of course, Chief's there to snipe it.
Well,
that wasn't a snipe. That was like a fucking clear headshot from 3 feet away.
But Dave he kept trying to bully me into doing them, so I did one first and like did it fine. And then I was like, Dave, like you're up. And he was like, all right, fine. And then he's like, no, you do another one. So then I did another one and it went fine. But Dave
said he did 2 clean ones before that.
No, that was a lie.
That's a lie.
That was a lie.
You lied to me?
I lied to you. That was a
when
lie.
Did he said that like off the record?
Yeah. I saw him
because I didn't want it to become
Sunday
a thing.
In Aurora. I was like, damn, Dave. I was like, that video is so funny. He's like, yeah, I fucking did 2 fucking clean shots right before that. Of course, dumbass Chief posts a bad one. I was like, oh, dude, that's that's not right.
That's worse than his lie about the first pitch at the hot dogs game.
Wait a second, though. If Eddie had not brought it up with me in the room, would you have just let it go forever? That you did 2 clean
100%. Of course I would have. What are you talking about here?
So that was attempt 1, and that was the only attempt.
That's the only attempt that I saw.
At that shit.
Dude, that's like fucking... That was it coming fast?
Yeah,
I've never done one of those before.
I've never done one of those before either.
It's weird. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it just goes into your stomach.
You got to come down from an angle, I feel like. If you took a knee, I feel like that would have been... The straight shot...
Yeah.
Because if you can come into an angle down.
And did you use the word puke? Because it wasn't puke.
No. I agree with you.
Well, you quoted it as a puke. You said he's a puke guy.
So that was a lie.
It was embellishment.
It was a lie.
Embellishment.
It was a lie.
It was embellishment.
It was a lie.
It's creative license?
It was embellishment.
It was not puke. It was just
couldn't do it.
Too much in my mouth, and it just like the pressure squirted out.
I don't know what it is, but I'm bad at shotgunning, and I'm also bad at chugging. And I'm bad at chugging, but I'm fine with that, and I always could do the funnel, too. I was always fine
with
the beer bong.
Yeah.
Somebody talked Portnoy into doing a shotgun at the
I
saw that.
I can't believe... I heard that happened, but I couldn't believe that someone actually talked him into doing
it. He used the Miller Lite, too, so credit to Dave.
My move on the shotguns is to just spike it as hard as I can once I know, like, because I didn't get all of it down. Yeah. But if I spike it hard, then it'll spill out. People will think I finished.
There's nothing more emasculating, though.
Can't do it. I'm not good at them.
Than when you spike it and there's still like a shit ton left in there.
Well, you have to like spike it away.
That's the worst look ever. But no, Dave, it did look like it was coming in hot. Like at least the beer
It
bong, you
was.
can
Have you
control
ever done
your
it?
own.
Right.
No, I've never done that before.
Can I?
I got a deviated septum though. I don't do. I don't do
Hey, that
well.
excuse plays in so many different levels.
do,
Like,
though.
I don't
That
like
has
sleeping at a
nothing
hotel.
to do with.
What do you mean? I don't bring in much air through the fucking snout.
You should
Of
get
course
a-
it brings.
what
But
about
you're
a
not
CPAP?
breathing during it.
The mask.
Sure you
Yeah.
are. You're breathing during that.
You have like. half
Maybe
a
with that
sec-
gun thing, you're not.
Yeah,
Maybe
with
the gun
that thing, you're not breathing.
If
It's-
if you had to bet between Dave and I, who would be better at taking down that?
Dave, of course.
Yeah.
You'd be. I would have thought you would do horrible. That's like.
I said.
Well, that's like a.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask because there's this narrative that you've crafted over years.
Yeah.
That
That's like
is
a
just
dr-
it's
like
just a false narrative.
I just picture you doing it and just seeing a drenched flannel afterwards.
Exactly.
And
Like,
flannel doesn't dry on the spot very well.
Sure doesn't.
No.
Yeah, and then he'd be like, "Oh, well, Chief doesn't really do a lot of these in the pumpkin patch," and then that would be the whole discussion.
So you can admit though, Dave, that as a party guy, it's not like you wish you were a better chugger.
I wouldn't say wish. I don't really give a shit.
Really, I feel like
No,
that
I
would be a
don't-
huge.
I-
Oh,
see-
dude, I drink so fucking fast and so much beer. No, I don't give
but you're a
flying
big
fuck.
like, hey, I could throw a ball really hard. Like if you had that in your arsenal too.
But he's also a marathon guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I was
he will-
just about to say this.
He'll drink all day responsibly, but not quickly.
Marathon people, they hate themselves. Dave's not a marathon guy.
I ran a marathon.
I know, but you don't.
And I signed up for a
register
second
for
one.
2. Yeah.
I didn't do it.
That's
You know,
more
it's-
telling. I think that's more.
You don't get
implying.
enough credit for signing up for that second one,
Right.
and then still donating to charity.
Exactly.
Yeah, what a
Exactly.
guy.
Pause.
Someone
No
sent
less.
us. Someone sent us the tweet of that. They're like, "Hey, what happened to White Sox Dave?" And because I guess your like number or your flag is like registered to the app, and you see like Dave Williams, and it was like still at the starting line.
Yeah.
I
You
think
remember
it-
that?
I should have just given it to someone else.
Well, that's what that's somewhere you can look it up that I ran the Austin half marathon.
Oh, really?
Have I not told this story?
No.
This is probably
I
like
think I've heard this.
2009 or 10. That my buddy from college moved down to Austin like right after graduation, and we were looking for a reason to go down and visit, and then somebody came up with the idea like, oh, let's all run the half marathon, which is in February. So we get down there and we just like get shit hammered the night before. So we wake up and this is like we sold our race packages on Craigslist like that morning. So we got up early and just like I gave it to like some guy for like $40, which we turned into more beer because we were 23, and then he turned in like an unbelievable time. So if you like, I don't even know where we would search for it, but back in the day, you used to be able to search for like marathon results, and it says like Ryan Brandell finished the half marathon in like an hour and a half.
I'd put that on a resume.
Yeah,
He's like, and then I'd tell a fake story about it.
Yeah.
And then I would encourage them to look up the results.
look it up, and then I can just put the 13.1.
And here's
sticker
all the
on
lessons
car.
I learned in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie in high school was known best for holding people's legs at the keg stand. I could see you and fucking Doug just standing at the keg,
Just holding people.
just telling
up.
people like, you got to go up, you got to go up. I think I said
was
this
bad at
before
those
when
too, actually.
when it was just me and Dave on the pod. I think I had said this before, but old hockey trick. If you're at a party and they're still doing keg stands, I think keggers have like faded away, but they should make a comeback when COVID is
yeah.
long gone. Keggers just completely different level of a house
Yeah.
party.
I haven't even.
We've talked about that before.
I would tell people we'd go into like a random kegger in college as a freshman. I'd be out with someone. I'd say, hey, let's go do the keg stand, and then, the fucking house gets going. 1, 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh, bro, if I'm administering it, I'm holding it, bro. There's no beer coming out of that thing until we get to like the 40s or the 50s. I'll drive a place crazy with the keg stand. Just be patient. And then so the crowd's 34, 35, 40, 50. Next thing you know, a little beer in the mouth. You put the guy down, he sprays it. He's a legend for the rest of the night. He's walking around. People go, that's a guy who did over a minute. You did a minute 15 on the keg. Could be you, Dave.
Couldn't be me.
Speaking of that, though, it doesn't make sense that you get a bad launch angle at the fucking keg.
Yeah, that's true too.
It is tough. Well, and the blood's rushing the head, so it's like just a different sensation of like you
Yeah.
got to fight the blood flow. You got to fight the what's it called? Vertigo.
Yeah.
It's not
I don't know
vertigo.
why I just thought of this. This is kind of on the same planet, I guess, but not really. When I was in high school, I would go to Lifetime Fitness, and I would go into the hot tub, and the jets would actually shoot out air, not just water, air. So you could go, if you could find it, you could go and get air bubbles and stay underwater for fucking hours, it seemed like. So I would literally hustle people with buddies. Like, I bet you I could stay under for 2 minutes.
No.
I wouldn't actually make bets or anything, but I would, like, show off to people how long I could stay underwater.
You're basically snorkeling through the
Basically, yes, through the jet.
Dave's
Yes.
getting beat up in the parking lot for hustling a couple old guys at Lifetime Fitness out of $30.
Just picturing that, be fucking Dave coming up, pushing his hair back. I told you guys, my
Yeah.
dad works at the Lincoln Park Zoo. I'm used to this shit.
Oh, God.
That's awesome.
Lifetime.
That's all. That's a nice hack.
Is it easy to cancel a Lifetime membership?
No.
I don't know.
Canceling any gym membership is impossible.
Export. You got to send in like a fucking
Yeah,
DNA
letter.
sample.
We got very close to meeting William Herman Williams on Sunday too.
That's not true.
We
And
stopped.
nobody
Have
told
you met
me.
him before, Chief?
No, I've talked to him on the phone one time. he just yelled at you to stop gambling. Like
Have
you were
you,
on
Eddie?
speakerphone.
I
It was
don't
like-
remember this.
No, I've
We
never
were in
met
the
him.
car. It was like
It's a dream, though.
It was like after one of the big
It's a
horse
dream.
races. It
I
might have been after the
sincerely
Kentucky
mean that.
Derby, which we watched at Joe's. And you're like, Dad, like you I thought you were gonna give me winners. He's like, I didn't tell you that. He's like, I won today. He's like, well, I lost. He's like, well, then you're bad at gambling. You should stop. That's what your dad said.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't. It'd have been that kind of a day. And but yeah, we were in his driveway, and I was like, "Can we come in?" He's like, "Absolutely not. You guys can't come in."
That's disappointing.
I had beers with him.
Where?
That's true.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Don't say where we had it.
Eddie
They're
wouldn't
banned.
be happy if I said it.
I wouldn't be happy.
He's not. We'll just say not on the guest list anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, I
You
mean,
know.
This
you
guy's
know who
off
it
the
is.
guest list.
I'm interested to hear where it was. No, but-
You would guess easily.
really?
We did a pizza
I mean-
review.
Oh, okay.
And he
okay.
put
Oh.
he put a hit out on Dave Portnoy.
All right.
I've said this before. Whatever you think Mr. Williams looks like, he'll blow you away. He is
I don't think so. I think he's just like a normal looking.
he's
random
like
guy.
10 year. He looks like 10, 15 years younger than
He's, like,
I
yoked, right?
pictured. Yes, and he's very in. He looks like he could
It's
he
not
still
anymore,
works
it's not.
out and would beat the shit out of me.
He does got we call it the Williams loose cannon gene. He's got that in spades.
He was
Tell me more about that gene, please.
It doesn't go through everybody in the family.
Do you have it?
I don't know. I haven't had to test it out in a while. Where you just fucking, if someone crosses you, you gotta put them in their place a little bit.
I mean, speaking of pizza, were you upset with Dave shit on the pizza?
I couldn't believe that. That pizza's awesome.
It's good pizza.
I thought it looked pretty
It's
good
good
too. I
pizza.
thought it looked crispy.
I thought the
and
pictures
crunchy.
looked good too.
Yeah,
And I posted it. I had so many people being like, "Where was that from? Where'd you get that?
good
It
pizza.
looks awesome." And it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was Al's Pizza in Warrenville, for those who don't know what we're talking about. And I wanted to bring Portnoy there, so I grew up. Al's Pizza is less than 15 minutes from the Aurora Casino. So I had to pick up my dog on Sunday, who was staying with my dad after the whole casino event, which is easy because it was right on the way and everything. So we stopped at Al's, got a couple pizzas, and Chief, who's very on the record as preferring East Coast style pizza.
It's true.
Chief, can you?
It's the best pizza I've had in the state of Illinois.
But
and
you're
I-
admittedly not a big Chicago pizza guy.
Yeah, I would prefer the New York style of pizza for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That New York, like when we went to when we were out in Connecticut, we went to Sally's and Frank Pepe's, and I
Yeah.
thought those were like the best pizzas I've
Very-
had. And
yeah,
I
very
had them
good.
like kind of cold. And I still thought they were awesome. And I loved what's the one that Portnoy loves in Manhattan?
John's
a Bleecker. I
yeah.
thought that was awesome.
John's a
we
Bleecker
all
was
went there
awesome.
with Dante when we were out there. I think in May. And I thought that was awesome. So that's like my
I had
preferred.
Santarpio's in Boston, and it was
loved-
unreal.
I loved Al's in Warrenville. So
It's I put it right up there with the best pizza in the entire Chicago metro area, and
I think
it's
it's
not
number
because I
one.
just grew up on it, but if like the common ones you say are Vito and Nick's, Rosangela's, which I haven't had in a long time, but I remember loving it.
Rosangela's is very popular. It's very good, but I don't know. That's like more South Side popular. Like I don't want. Vito
very-
Nix is
yeah,
like
it's-
so.
what did Dave give Rosangela? I saw
7.5.
Yeah, 7.5.
Okay.
Go watch it. But we should start a campaign about Dave needs to start pulling from the middle. He needs to start eating center slices.
Dude,
'Cause
someone told me he had a corner.
Yeah,
from
he ate a
Los
corner
That's
from
so-
Rosangela's. That's it. Then rated it. And
That's
it's just like,
so
come
bad.
on, dude. That's so disrespectful.
I like the edge pieces better too.
Well, yes,
Doesn't
but,
tell the full story.
but you can't take the corner.
If he's
like the little baby corner.
Yeah,
That's what he took.
yeah. He
Oh,
took
you
the
can't
egg.
do that.
Yeah.
No,
but like,
no.
you got to have some crust.
That's the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
piece
yeah.
you eat when you open the box.
Yeah,
Just,
you get
just
a
to
little
get it going.
appetizer,
Yeah, and
yeah.
then your mouth starts salivating because
Yeah.
you close on the heavy crust.
Yeah.
He doesn't even take a slice from the edge with the crust
Okay.
that starts
Is that-
to get in the middle.
I wouldn't say take a middle. I don't really like the middle slice. You can't hold on to anything. It's tough. So I like to have a little crust, but
Yeah.
I can't just
I
create
like
it on just the
balance, yeah.
corner. That's crazy.
One corner, one middle, two edges to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would
That's
never
what-
tell you how to do a Dave Portnoy show or even suggest it, but I will suggest if you find
Well-
opportunity to get to the middle slice. I
I-
mean, it's kind of a slap in the face.
No, it is.
I was actually pretty pissed when he said, "Thank God I didn't take your advice" or whatever.
Tragic.
About Al's.
Even if you don't like the look of it,
How could you not like the look of it?
I don't. That's even if he does or doesn't. That doesn't matter. That's still, even though it's 25 miles west of the city, that's still a very popular place in Illinois. Like a lot of people know that.
What I'm
place.
saying, like, I think,
and it's from 1959. He would love the vibe in there. He would love it.
In my opinion, I think Vito Nix is the only one on its own where it's like thin crust is like universally known. Does that make sense?
Well, there's so much so that you can get them in your grocery store.
Yes,
freezer,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't a knock on Los
Okay.
Angeles because it's very good. But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
there's no pizza other than Vito Nix where it's like, hey, you come in town and it's like, hey, thin crust. Like that's always
Yeah.
like that's so.
And for those who like
I agree.
so I've been to Vito and Nick's probably a half dozen times in my life. I've been to Al's a billion times in my life. I think they are so fucking identical. They are in taste and everything.
Ooh, I disagree. But
I think they are like carbon copies of each
I
other.
think they're both really good. But I disagree.
Rosangela's sweet sauce, what gets it loyal is the fact that it's in Evergreen Park and it's a single location, and the people from Evergreen Park are just like really passionate about Evergreen Park stuff. Like I said this in a blog, like Evergreen Park people, they think if you live in the city, you're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
They think if you live in Oak Lawn, you're a pussy. You know, they think if you're from Alsip, you know, you're lower than them. If you're from Orland Park, you're a moron. Like Evergreen Park people are just like very loyal and particular about their places, and they have Baracos, but Baracos has multiple locations.
Yeah.
And the family, well, you know, the family's from Oak Lawn.
I'll tell you what though, 24 hours a day.
Yeah,
I respect that.
it's nice. Well,
I
I'm
respect that from there.
I'm very,
Bracco's is 24 hours?
Yeah,
very
bro.
loyal to that kitchen, and their pizza is very unique and small, and those are cousins and nephews of the Vito and Nick's people. So
Oh, okay.
There's
I
a
didn't know
place that Portnoy reviewed. I think he gave it in the 8s up in, I want to say, Northbrook. It starts with a B. I had
Barnaby's.
Barnaby's.
Yeah, Barnaby's.
very good.
Dude, when he tweeted the picture, I was like, where is that from?
You would love this place.
I'm sure
too.
I-
It is
it
so
looks-
dark and creepy in
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
sit in booths. It's
crust
so
is
fucking
almost
awesome.
looks like a pie.
The
like-
crust kind of has some of the
It has the cornmeal on
Lou
the
Yeah.
bottom.
Malnati's
Yeah.
vibe to it.
Oh, I see. Of the deep dishes, I like loose crust the best.
It's
So, it's like buttery.
it's
Yeah.
good, but there's a couple locations you got to go to the right one.
yeah. I think
No,
there's
everyone's
like
gonna
3
be
up there.
so
Barnaby's,
mad we're
yeah.
not talking about their place right now.
I know.
know.
We're gonna
That's
get some
why it's
DM
like you're
Danny's
like,
gonna
oh,
get
I
some
hope you
DMs.
said something. Like I would say something, but it's not, dude. It's crazy. Someone wrote me a handwritten letter about a place to take him to, and I was like, here we go. Dave's gonna be in town. You're getting the handwritten letters.
Yep.
And that turned into like 200 more people DMing me a spot. I'm like,
But this is what I
Is
was
it
about
fair
to
to
say.
say that we have absolutely no say in where he's
Yes.
doing?
I was
pizza
kind of
reviews?
pissed he went to Phil's without me because that's right down the street from Sox Park.
That's
but
how
whatever.
he operates. He
The-
just goes and
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
With even if he quote tweeted and is like, "Thank God," I like that. I completely disagree with that. Like I said, like it's been on Chicago's Best. It's been on all the like Travel Channel shit. Al's Pizza I'm talking about. It is like it's 1959. It's been around for
Yeah.
70 years almost. You know. And like, even if you don't like the looks of it, that's still a place you should try as a pizza man, right? Is that fair to say?
I would agree. I think he just,
He likes to shit.
he
on
likes
you.
to shit on you. Yes.
Yeah, sure. But that's not fair to the pizza joint.
Correct. I agree. But it's,
And to all the fucking losers in my mention saying that's not pizza, it's cutting squares, get the fuck out of my face. It doesn't change your taste.
I had many people in my mentions saying that it was burnt, and it's like,
No, that
what
was
are you talking about?
cooked to perfection.
Yeah, that's called having it well done, which is the way to do it.
yeah, I thought it looked good.
You know, it didn't look good.
What?
No, I'm not gonna say it.
No, that's a fair transition.
Well, I'm just gonna say, is it?
Well, how about this? How
Raise
about
your hand if you want Matt Nagy fired.
I mean, I've wanted him fired.
I would like to issue an apology.
To who? To who?
The people?
To who?
Mitch Trubisky?
No. To who? To who?
To people in general.
Do you want to say someone was right?
I don't want to say someone
Can
was
I
right.
tell you this?
You can tell me whatever you want.
Well, hold on. Before I tell you this, I want to tell you a great place to go get your ADHD medication refilled.
Where's that?
You know where it is, Carl. You could tell me.
Yeah, it's innovativeadd.com. It's an actual real medical clinic. It's not just like an online service, and it's in Illinois for Illinois residents, and they take insurance.
Yeah, that's huge. So you must be an Illinois resident. They take insurance, which is unlike most other companies. They don't do that. Real medical clinic, like Carl said, based in Chicago. They're medical providers you can trust. You definitely want to use them for ADHD management. But you can also turn to Innovative for other things related to primary care or urgent care. No one has time for these doctor visits and whatnot, so Innovative is really streamlined that and done a great job.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's been there where you make an appointment, you get there, and then you're still waiting around for 45 minutes. So this is streamlining that whole process. So, yeah, go to innovativeadd.com to sign up.
Yeah, they treat you with dignity and compassion and care, and it's just the way to move away from a frustrating part and move in with a good one. So.
Service is king in the healthcare industry. Service. They do a great job with it.
It makes getting your prescriptions, specifically ADHD prescriptions, that much more efficient and easy.
InnovativeADD.com to sign up.
Must be a resident of Illinois. Once again, they do take insurance, and that's innovativeadd.com.
How about that? Dave gets the ad read pulled up once, and he's fucking going hammer time on it. I love it.
You found him?
Yeah,
it depends on the week. Sometimes they pop up. I type in Redline Radio into the search function every single week.
Well, sometimes it's Redline is one word, sometimes it's 2 words.
Well, that makes sense. I do it.
So I just put it
with
red.
The spaces.
So here's what I was going to say to you.
Okay.
You wrote a blog yesterday. The Bears need to fire Matt Nagy today before he ruins Justin Fields.
Yeah.
40 exactly 40 days ago. You wrote, Fields gets more reps with Allen Robinson against number one defense, and I think I'm ready to wipe the slate clean with Nagy.
I was wrong. I don't have any problem saying that.
No. I know, but I had the tweet ready to go, and I had that picture of that blog, and I had 40 days later, and I had that, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to be nice.
I'm not.
Why?
I'm not going to.
If that was me, you wouldn't have been nice.
Sure, you would have.
No, I didn't want it. I didn't want it.
Look, I'm not going to apologize for hoping and wanting to be an optimist about the season. But when you have your number one quarterback, or your franchise quarterback, future of the franchise, and you're going against Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney, and you don't help on them at all, like you can't scheme. And like there was a quote from Myles Garrett being like, "Yeah, we figured out what they were doing after the first drive, and then we adjusted, and then they never adjusted. They never helped." They never gave anybody a chip. Also, I'm fucking pissed about the usage of Jimmy Graham. Not that Jimmy Graham's great, but if you're paying a guy $10 million and you give him 7 snaps, like what the fuck?
Our 3 highest paid players on offense, I heard, was I could look this up. Sorry, this is bad on my part, but it's Foles, Graham, and Allen Robinson.
Like, what are we doing?
Listen, it's not about me because I don't care. Like, this is like about a Chicago Bears thing, and we're all in this together. But like, I do feel somewhat vindicated because a lot of people kind of were upset with me 40 days ago when I was still like negative and like apathetic. But like, guys, this is what I expected. Like, that's why I never really got into the mud with like the whole like Fields or Andy Dalton thing, because I honestly didn't think Fields would get a chance. Like we clearly saw him.
But it's just so much worse than I thought it would
is worse than I thought, for sure. It's worse than I thought, but I didn't think it'd be good.
The second worst offensive production in the NFL in 100 years.
Yeah,
but then you have guys in major mainstream media now are literally saying it's the worst game plan they've ever seen. Orlovsky, Drew Brees just completely
eviscerated him. Yeah,
they eviscerated him.
There was no like counterpoint at all.
Yeah.
And I love the point is like it's either negligence or it's intentional. Because when you have, what was it? They had 5 guys protecting him on 13 of 20 snaps. 20 dropbacks.
Yeah, of passes attempted. So that's not even counting the sacks. So like the Orlovsky ones are balls that actually left his hand. And they had, and then it was worse than that. Like I had another one, I'll have to pull up that blog, but it was like of the 30 like snaps, like it was like 2 times where they moved the pocket. So how do you not like craft your offense around your quarterback at all? Like, how do you not play to Justin's? Like, you would think, like, hey, like, we're going to make it easy on him. We're going to do things that he does well, and that's how we're going to break him in. And then he'll pick up the other parts of the offense as we go. But let's at least give him a chance to be successful. They never move the pocket. They never double-team Myles Garrett. They just let him get their fucking ass kicked. Like, I was worried, like, at the end of the game, I was like, let's just see if we can survive this game without him, like, breaking a leg or tearing an ACL. Like, it was that ugly because they gave him no help.
And, you know, how much can you even put on Peters and Ifedi? Because,
none.
like Peters is 39 years old. He's trying to block
The
one
best
of the
defensive
most
end in football.
freakish
Yeah.
athletes we've seen in a while.
And
Yeah.
In a while.
And I tweeted that out during the game where it's like, and they showed him getting beat, and he's not like just quitting. Like, he's like crawling on his hands trying to get like another piece of Myles Garrett as he goes by. Like, he's doing the best he can. But it's like you said, he's 39, and like they didn't chip him at all. They didn't keep Montgomery in to help or bring two tight ends in. They made who's the tight end? Not JP Holes, the other one.
Jesse James.
Horsted. Or no, JP Holes, I'm sorry. They made him a captain. He didn't play one game. He's their best blocking tight end. So, like, you could say, like, hey, Jimmy Graham can't help us, but we need a guy who can provide a little bit of help in the pass game from a protection standpoint and a running standpoint to contain, like, Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney. And they didn't even try. They didn't even put him, like, they made him a captain, didn't play one offensive snap.
For sure. And here's what you can't get mad at when it comes to those two guys. So many things just slipped through the cracks that I feel there were so many other things to complain and bitch about that, like, Jermaine Ifedi, he failed in Seattle as a tackle.
Mm-hmm.
We moved him to guard. Like, he was better. But then, like, I mean, you know, like, why would you move him back? And, like, everyone just kind of, like, accepted it and, like, didn't really think about it. And then, like, we're seeing what we're seeing. It's like, oh, like, that's why that guy moved back to guard. And, like, we were such in a bad spot where everyone's like, oh, okay, like, that makes sense. Like, Mustafa played well. Like, let's keep our interior a little stronger. I mean, it's disgusting. Jimmy Graham even retweeted 1.1
That's
yards.
tough, too.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Graham, remember we used to do this with A-Rod when he played for the Yankees? A-Rod makes $36,000 a plate appearance. Jimmy Graham on Sunday made $100,000 a snap. For $100,000 a snap, I think White Sox Dave will fucking take it up the middle a couple times against.
I would have no problem doing that.
He's just a fucking nag. He's just.
But then when you talk about Ifedi, like, pace is worse.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's where it's like,
pace is worse than Nagy, right?
Well,
they're all.
it's hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't even know if you can separate them at this point, right? Like, it's just like it's.
What does that mean?
Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Like, they're.
It's like it's supposed to be a Venn diagram, but it's just a circle. Like, who's to blame?
Yeah.
That's a good meme.
Dave also tweeted out the thing that you just said you were going to tweet out.
We conspired while you were speaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
yes.
I accept the apology from Chief. I know some other people in this room won't, but
He didn't apologize to me.
Oh, he did it?
I apologize to everybody who was on Eddie's side of the ledger, but not Eddie specifically.
That's fair.
But I'm not apologizing. Like, I want when I'm going into a football season, like, I want to have I want to have
it's
fun.
Not fun. Yeah,
I
yeah.
said this yesterday. Like, it was so bad on Sunday that I just didn't care, and it got to the point.
Oh, I got mad
with Mark Trestman, where I was just apathetic about the team because, like, they're so bad they, like, broke my brain.
I was gonna say that too, and I think that's probably the biggest, like, the worst thing I could say about you. And I think, in different ways, obviously, because Trestman had a good offensive year, but that was a Trestman loss. That was a Trestman loss.
I honestly think that was the worst football game I've ever seen.
No, there were some
What's
bad
worse, the
Trestman
Packers
ones.
with Trestman when they come into town, and I
Yeah.
think they were up, was it like 35-0 at half?
Yeah, that was awful. The Patriots game was awful.
What about just offensively, though? Like, I know the Patriots game. That was the snow one, right? Is that the one you're talking about?
No, that was the one where who was our guy? Lamar Houston got injured. He tore his ACL celebrating. We were down like 40.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
We couldn't stop Gronk. Gronk absolutely fucking murdered us.
But I
there
mean,
was another. The Saints Monday Night Football game that year was horrendous. We had so many bad games during those seasons.
I guess I just kind of try to.
The Eagles Sunday Night Football. When we had the watch
58-8.
party at Rebel when
yeah.
Shady McCoy absolutely fucking killed us.
Yeah, the fact that like 11 people showed up for that watch party wasn't even close to the most pathetic thing that happened that night.
But yeah, that's probably like as dark as it gets as the Trestman years, that was a Trestman loss. That's bad.
Well, God is my witness, I won't get sucked in again.
That's just exactly what I'm saying. Like, this is...
So you're done. You're for sure out now.
On those two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. In the end, it goes to who hires these guys to run the show.
I understand.
And it's George McCaskey. I mean, Virginia's 90,000 years old. It's George McCaskey and Ted Phillips. And after there's no way that Nagy gets fired during the year, I don't think. Unless it's like lost like yesterday or Sunday rather. Unless it's like that continually throughout the rest of the year, and it could be because their schedule is
it's
brutal.
pathetic. Dave, we're literally hoping that McCaskey and Phillips, like that the blind squirrel always finds a nut eventually.
Yeah. Right.
We're literally just praying for we find a blind nut.
Yeah.
With those two.
But at this point, like I don't think that nut even exists. At least for them to find.
Well, and it's also like I was talking, like I woke up yesterday and I was like, let's just Google who the top coaching candidates would be for next year. And like obviously like a lot of people were like bringing up Brian Daboll, but
Brian Daboll.
Brian
Daboll.
Bills, Alabama, Patriots, like he's like a diesel resume. He's done wonders with Josh Allen. Why the fuck would that guy come here? Like that, like I just
everybody wants a head coaching job.
Yeah, but I think like if he's going to have them, right? So he's going to there's probably going to be 4 or 5 openings like there are every year. Why would, if you look at their cap sheet,
exactly,
you look at their draft capital, you look at the stadium fucking thing, you look at the ownership, they're going to be scraping from the bottom
free
of the
agency another year and then go and get an actual job that he can actually succeed at.
Or just like I think there will be 4 or 5 other jobs. Like like it's like I'm sure there always is. So there's always that's what seems like that's like the average for
the
turnover.
Demand for him will outweigh the supply of him.
Exactly. So whoever
and
wants
that does not bode well for the Bears.
Right. I think like the Colts are probably even with their situation probably that's a much more attractive job I would say than the Bears right now.
Well, they're not gonna. Colts Reich's not gonna. He's not on the hot seat.
I've heard some people talk.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't think he is.
Yeah.
We'd have to look at who's on the hot seat. I just Googled an article who's on the hot seat, and they have Mike Zimmer number 1. Or they have McCarthy, Zimmer, Judge. That's Bleacher Report. Zach Taylor, and Nagy. So I don't know. Like obviously Burrow is probably with those weapons is probably a better option, right? If you're Daboll.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I don't think
is it AFC North or do you look at the NFC? Like I feel like our division is like Aaron Rodgers ain't gonna be here for the longest time, right?
I think the North is there for the taking too. Like,
well, is the Vikings a better opportunity than the Bears?
But who wouldn't, if between those two franchises, if you wanted to? I mean, it takes a huge ego to be in this position in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume the appeal of being the guy who does it in Chicago, is pretty fucking high.
I would agree, but then. Like it's almost like you're not interviewing, like you're being recruited. And if you're being recruited and you're sitting across from Ted Phillips and George McCaskey, are you like, oh yeah, I want to go work for these fucking guys?
They gave Pace how many drafts?
That's true.
Yeah,
that's good point.
Job security at least.
Yeah, I think so. If he goes to Minnesota, he'll probably be able to handpick his own quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long Thielen is extended for, but Jefferson's still on his rookie deal.
I already know
some weapons there.
The Dan Campbell's making me nervous in Detroit too. It seems like they play pretty fucking hard for him and don't quit.
Yeah.
Did you know? And we'll recap. We'll cover the Lions game more in the Thursday episode with Chris Castellani, the Barstool Detroit guy. But did you know Goff has never won a game without McVay? I heard that on the radio today.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Wait. So was he there before McVay?
Yeah, they're with Fisher and.
You're right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I know it's a small sample size, but I found that interesting.
Yeah.
Are we going to be his first win?
Well, that's the other thing I was going to say about what Dave was saying. That I do think that if they have an ugly loss to Detroit, like that's the first. Like you might have to actually think about it. And then if he is like we've always given him credit for seemingly keeping like the locker room and like the vibes together. Jimmy Graham tweeting that out, I think, or retweeting that is probably.
Did you see what Nick Foles said?
Go ahead.
Clip. Well, it was you could tell that he was trying to keep it to himself. He was talking to Andy Dalton. Obviously, Foles was suited up on the sideline, and it was in the very upper left corner of the TV screen. And the camera wasn't even supposed to be focused on him. It was supposed to be focused on Dalton, but you could read his lips. And he clearly said Matt's offense is clearly not working.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Well, it's like, yeah.
Everybody fucking knows it, man.
Except for him.
Well, I think he knows it. I think he's just...
I guess it's just like you've had him, like you knew like Justin Fields is going to be the quarterback eventually at some point this year. Maybe it's like earlier than you anticipated, but I just can't imagine that an NFL head coach could have nothing to put his quarterback in a good position.
At all.
At all.
What was he, 6 for 22?
Yeah.
For 60 yards or whatever. It was so sad watching him run around.
I felt bad for him.
I did too. It's like, how can you possibly judge anything on that game for Justin
and
Fields?
Greg Olsen said that in the broadcast.
No, on the flip side, is there any responsibility here for everyone that was screaming for him to start earlier? Like, do you think he wasn't ready? And maybe there was a reason for that. And I'm just trying to like look at other things from different lenses.
Sure.
And people were very vocal. Like that's where like it's
QB1, he's our guy.
Exactly. Like at what point is it like, well, shit, we were wrong. Like maybe we should have let him sit a little bit longer. I don't know.
Well, I think the plan was to let him sit like they got their hand forced, but I don't think it would have mattered. I think the plan, which is just to like tell Fetty and Peters good luck against those guys. You could have had Patrick Mahomes back there or Aaron Rodgers. It wouldn't have mattered. Like whoever was going to be the quarterback was going to get killed on Sunday with that plan.
Yeah, and he'll always be like, it starts with me. It's like, dude.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's like, bro, like you're saying the right things, but at some point, like, if you're the girlfriend who takes their fucking boyfriend back every time and they're like, I'm sorry, I cheated, like whatever, like we're the suckers.
I don't want to hear that you're not an idiot anymore.
Yeah, we're the suckers.
Yeah.
It's fucking embarrassing.
I'm the sucker.
I'm beyond being embarrassed. I am.
You just don't care. You're apathetic. You grow apathetic for sure.
And I know it's different from person to person, but I've reached a point where I just I'm not like I want to be losing sleep over a bad Bears loss. I want to be super fired up after a good Bears win. Last week, I didn't even really give a shit when they had a decently good win against a team that actually doesn't look horrible right now. You know?
Yeah, I get embarrassed around like these big settings. Like we watched the game in a parking lot with fucking over 100 other Bears fans in Bears jerseys, and everyone's fired up. And like you see that's what makes me like, this is fucking brutal. Like you see all these people in these jerseys all sad and shit. That's where I'm like, this is awful.
They ruined our day.
Yeah, but once you bear like this Sunday against the Lions, I'll be apathetic too. Like they're just fucking. At some point, like, they're just losers.
Trick me once, shame on you. Trick me twice, shame on me. Like they've tricked us since Lovie Smith. Mark Trestman, Fox. Who am I missing in there? 4 GMs, is it now?
No, 3.
Since Angelo?
3.
We're just a patently below average organization.
Yeah, 2, Emery and Pace.
And we watch countless other successful organizations week in and week out. Mm-hmm. We're just like inundated with good, well-run football programs.
Yeah, and that's where like it's crazy, but it's I just kind of think the NFL is like the Jets fucking blow.
No offense, Tom. 26-0 at home. I mean, 26-0 in Denver.
It's true though, right? Like
Denver's tough to play, but 26-0, Tom. That's
like you're obviously feeling all the shit we're saying, right? Just in a different way.
More so, you guys have a win.
But you know like I said,
we're like
cousins in a way.
Yeah, no, like you know how it's like you
could just replace the word Bears with Jets and everything you're saying. It's the same exact way.
The cities, like I think it's down by like Lincoln Park Zoo. They have like the signpost that says like how far it is from all Chicago sister cities. Like the Jets are our sister program. Yeah. Like they're our sister NFL. Like they're our AFC sister team.
Because I know before that Saints playoff game, the Jets and the Bears have had the most had the same amount of playoff appearances since 1990.
And it's like 6. The embarrassment factor.
Yeah.
It's not even just like losing in a normal way that you can get worked up about it. It has to be like on a national scale embarrassment level where now all the media is talking about.
Yes. That's well said.
It's absurd.
And a great point.
You can't just like deal with a loss and be like upset about it. It's like, well,
Yeah.
it's a national news story about how bad you are.
Glass half full for you, though. You're in a much better situation right now, currently.
Yeah.
September 28th,
Yeah.
2021. You have a new coach who's only been there for,
Yeah.
Is Woody Johnson able to consume like regular media? Like I have a feeling Virginia McCaskey doesn't even read the newspaper.
That probably is what she
could be
reads.
so oblivious to like, you know what I'm saying? Is like
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
she's listening to WBBM or something and getting the weather updates.
News Radio 78. They got a good jingle.
780.
Like she could be so
It's 78
oblivious
for
to that
Virginia.
the fan base. Like if you asked her like, do you think the fan base approves of Matt Nagy? Like I bet she says yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's awful, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's so bad. And it's it's bad, too, where it's like, we don't want it to be a bitch fest every
No.
show. Like, that's why I like it's like, let's try to be happy and talk about pizza and fucking
Yeah.
Dave not being able to chug a beer for 20 minutes before we just bitch.
But the night is darkest just before the dawn. The problem is we're living in Antarctica and we're in
Yeah.
a 6-month window where there's no sunlight.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. It's always darkest before it's completely black. Like that's the other.
That's
That's
a
the
good point.
like it's that's what I feel like we're entering into, like just the blackness. We're into the abyss now. And like
Ooh, speaking of blackness,
Yeah.
Dave, let's go.
blackout.
This might be it. Well,
Huge
hold on.
news. Sorry.
What could help us, though, is we need something that, like, push us through a little bit.
I was going to say,
Revitalize.
yeah, I want to get some Revitalight.
I was
It's
going to say
delicious.
3 Chi, but
No.
No,
each their own.
Dave, you talk about Revitalight. Black Label, the Barstool label, Barry Frost. You guys can find this in the Barstool store. You guys can also find this in like your local. I mean, it's at the place I get beer. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I call it a liquor store. Yeah, it's at my liquor store.
They've been all over the place in this office, too. Like, we're really fucking taking a liking it, too. So to give it a try, too, you don't want to go to the kids section.
It actually tastes good.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It's like a good taste, like an enjoyable beverage. So like I just drink it for fun sometimes.
Yeah,
in the
because
office.
sometimes, like, I know, like, the other brand kind of gave me, like, some cotton mouth.
For sure.
I didn't get that
Nope.
with this. So that's nice.
No, it's a true hydration friend of yours.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I definitely used it this past weekend. It was a long weekend for us. We had the Notre Dame game, we had the pregame thing. So I had one Saturday night. I had one on Sunday. By the time Monday came rolling around, like I felt good as new.
Were you revitalized?
I was revitalized. I was hydrated. I had those electrolytes in me. I was feeling good.
Yeah, you could do it before you go to bed. You could do it in the morning.
Well, the trick is you got to go half and half if you
there you
really
go.
want to fucking.
The old Williams trick.
Yeah.
I like that. So pick up your Revitalight Black Label today in store or online at the Barstool store and tweet at us or tag at Drink Revitalight LYTE in your morning after stories. Blackout Dave. He has spoke to the White Sox. Did they say anything?
It was already in the works, and I kind of figured it had been, but I just wanted to really hammer home the fact that, like, this is what the fans want. And I have a feeling that kind of this could be totally incorrect, but I have a feeling like kind of like a high school football team or a college football team comes out of the tunnels and they break through the banner. I have a feeling the White Sox for that playoff game, it's more than likely 95% chance going to be game 3 for the blackout, is that they're going to come out onto the field wearing the City Connect jerseys, and they're going to be an all black too.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's even allowed because it's an alternate jersey and it's the playoffs, but that'd be sick. How fucking fired up would the crowd be if they came out with the black?
It would be sick. I don't like those jerseys.
I like the jerseys. I think the black on black is weird, but considering the theme, I think that would be fucking awesome.
It's cool for that reason, but in general, I just think those jerseys.
I think they would be awesome if they had white pants with them. But whatever.
Yeah.
People like them. I'm pumped. I'm very, very pumped.
What do you
5
think?
games left.
Do you think people brought up a good point where like the blackout game meant so much? Like leave it there.
No. What people are you talking about? Because I know who you're talking about. Who?
I had to use my little gaslight from my guy Ken W.
Yeah, he's like, fuck him. I'm going to wear white.
That's my guy.
I hope he gets fucking tomatoes thrown at him at that game.
He would love it too.
Oh, yeah.
He'd sit there and be chomping them.
He would be that Shawn Michaels gif where he's walking out and people are throwing beer at him and he's just sitting there like swirling the beer out of his hair. That's Shawn Michaels, right?
Yeah.
I don't
You're
do
right.
wrestling.
He's like that expression, like that guy walks between the raindrops. Like he
He
just
loves
you
the
can't.
fucking
But he just is unfazed by all of it.
Is he?
I
Can we
have
break that?
never met someone that is impervious to every ounce of criticism you throw at him on the internet like Ken WO is.
Is he next week?
I haven't asked. Do
Okay.
you want me to?
Fuck yeah, dude. That
Okay.
guy's electric.
We'll get him. I'll
He's just-
hit him up now.
Are White Sox fans paying attention to the Astros last couple games of the year? Do you guys? Because you just mentioned like it is probably going to be Game 3, but I think there's 2.5 games apart. They're on the road at Tampa or hosting Tampa. You know, they're obviously mailing it in, but Tampa's still tough to fucking beat. And then they close with the Athletics, who might still be trying to give this a shot. Like, do White Sox fans basically what I'm curious if like the White Sox fans out there are.
So the Astros have 6 games left as of Wednesday. It's 1:15 p.m. when we're recording this on Wednesday. The Astros have 6 games left. Or today's Tuesday. I'm sorry, Tuesday at 1:15 p.m. White Sox have 5 games left. The Astros have 6 games left. So the White Sox, since they're 2.5 back, would have to go either 5-0, and the Astros would go 2-4, or the Sox would have to go 4-1, and the Astros would have to go 1-5. I think it is. So odds are it's not even worth talking about.
It's out of your mind. Yeah.
It's out of my mind, and it's been out of the White Sox mind. Like I kind of follow their lead for everything, like because you don't have any other choice really, and it's been out of their mind just to keep guys healthy for the last last couple months even, you know, with the amount of rest they've given everybody on the roster seemingly. So I don't really care about that. It'd be a nice thing to have, but
Split down there, win it at home.
yeah, split down there, win it at home, and you're good.
Yeah.
And the stadium, I truly
That
think
place is gonna be up for grabs.
it's gonna be a fucking madhouse, and nobody's gonna want to play there. They have to split. They have to split first 2 games in Houston. And if they do, I think that's their series.
I always thought there's like an advantage to being the home team in the ALDS in like a 5-game series because if you have a number 1, number 2, like you have a shot to split the first 2 games. You're both good fucking teams. I would, and I could be wrong. I'm sure there's somebody who knows the probabilities of this much better than I do. But I just feel like having games 3 and 4 at home, are more impactful than having games 1 and 2 at home.
I agree, especially like because then if you split, you got to feel like, oh, we got it.
Yeah, you split, you're automatically in the driver's seat.
Yep.
But that's a fucking tall order, especially
it
against
is
the Houston
absolutely.
Astros.
I mean, everybody. I shouldn't say maybe. It's probably because of who I follow and what I say on the internet. But nobody's really talking about how the Astros have really struggled against shit teams this year. So as of yesterday, they were on a 4-game skid against. They just got dismantled by the Oakland Athletics. They were off yesterday, so they're on a 4-game skid as we record this at 1:15 on Tuesday. Just got fucking pummeled by the Athletics, and no one's talking about how they're not playing good baseball right now. No one's talking about it, which is fine and all, but like hold each team that's not the team you root for to the same standard. If you're saying that the White Sox are reeling going into the playoffs, which is not true anyways, but then so are the Astros. I mean, the Athletics are dead. They're not making the playoffs, and the Athletics just went and beat the shit out of them in 3 straight games. So it's like you can't have it both ways, you know? That kind of drives me crazy a little bit.
I'm sure the White Sox clubhouse is bored at this point.
So yesterday they played a noon game. It was a makeup game, 1 off game in Detroit where they were supposed to have an off day. It was going to be in front of 100 people in Detroit, and I thought they were going to get fucking smoked. They went out and took an 8-2 lead. Dallas Keuchel was not good, I wouldn't say, but he wasn't horrible. And after that, they put like a bunch of backups, and Mike Wright was pitching. Guys who won't be pitching in the playoffs, and the Tigers made it a game. I thought they were going to just come out flat because, like you said, they're waiting for October. The division's won. Like, what are they really playing for other than like to stay hot heading into the playoffs? So we'll see these next 6 games. I would love starting tonight the White Sox no backups. I don't want to see a single backup play the rest of the year. Obviously, Engel, that's up for grabs because he's just been hurt nonstop this year. But get as many starters, as many reps, and get that. Because I know there's no way to measure this, but lineup cohesion is a thing, you know? It's absolutely a thing where you get used to where you're hitting in the order, who's in front of you, who's behind you.
No, you sit Jose Abreu in the last series against the Tigers, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they'd be dumb enough to I would hope they wouldn't be dumb enough to.
They got some young pitchers on that team that haven't really proved themselves. That could take it. That would not have the perspective of like a veteran, right?
If that actually happens, then you just gotta pocket it until next year. I mean, I would assume they play the Tigers in the first week or two of the season next year. Just go and fucking earhole a bunch of players next year.
Does he wear Evo Shield?
No, he doesn't wear anything. Ugh. He gets hit in the tricep every other game. He's gotten hit like 26 times this year or some shit. And it's always right. He just leans into, I mean, that's a lot of bone, and it's pretty tender area, you know? So it can't feel good. You said before we started recording that was a Bush League slide. I did not think so. I mean, it was a hard slide, but he wasn't nails up or anything. It was just being like, hey, motherfuckers,
dude,
stop doing it.
It was so late. He's such a big, strong guy. It was so late.
Fuck out of my face with that. It's a fucking professional sport. So late. What are you talking about?
And he was clearly sliding hard because he got drilled.
That's fine. What's wrong with that? Saying, hey, motherfuckers, control your pitches. There's absolutely nothing
I'm saying
wrong
he's
with what
entitled
he did.
to. I'm just saying like that's a little okay. That's Bush League. It's a hard slide.
I completely disagree.
It's good baseball. I'm sure if I was a fucking White Sox fan, I'd be like, yeah, dude, Jose Abreu, he's tough.
I really don't think if the
like,
roles were reversed,
like, come on, man.
Then like I wouldn't have anything wrong with that.
But then would you be pissed if they then threw at him again?
Like he's gonna get thrown at again.
Okay, so that's
for sure,
right?
Because of the slide, and because and a little bit of the scuffle afterwards, but mostly because of that.
He'll wear it, and then like I said, you just. Like, I tweeted immediately when the bench was cleared. I was like, oh, fuck. And Garrett Crochet, I've never said a word to this kid in my life. He's a 6'5" hillbilly from Tennessee. But that, to me, like, he was, like, there was blood and red in his eyes.
Yeah, if you didn't see the video, Garrett Crochet sprinted out like faster than most people.
Don't be fucking stupid. And I don't even know how that works.
To the point where Benetti like called it out right in the moment when it happened, where it's like, wow, look at Crochet. Like, he had nothing to do with anything.
He had nothing to do with anything. He wanted to kill somebody. And it's like, dude, you got to just fucking wear it at this point. The Tigers have nothing to play for. You have everything to play for. I don't know how suspensions would work, if that would count for the postseason or not. But at the same time, just get the fuck off the field. Don't throw punches. Don't put yourself in a position to get suspended, because someone like Garrett Crochet is going to be leaned on heavily in the postseason, and you just can't fuck around with that. Like, deal with it next year. I know it sucks to say that, but that's how you got to do it. That's just how you got to do it.
I got to say, I said this, I think, on the show last week. Like, is there an equivalent to, like, the hockey thing where, like, hey, the team's sputtering a little bit. They don't have, like, the right energy leading into, like, the playoffs or something like that. And I said, well, if Taves or somebody would, like, go fight David Backus just to, like, get everybody's attention, be like, hey, like, everybody wake the fuck up. I feel like this could be a little bit of that moment. Like, it just kind of re-galvanizes everybody.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Especially with the I'm serious. I do think they're bored. I think the last couple weeks for the White Sox have probably been stale, and you're just hearing the same stuff over and over again.
Right.
So, like, Abreu getting them all fired up in a meaningless Tigers game.
Love it.
Yeah, it's a good point. That's a really good leadership from Jose Abreu, then, if that's the case.
Yeah, I don't know if it was premeditated, but I think it could definitely have that type of, like, a galvanizing. We're waking up. Hey, it's everybody get on the same page. We're going to the playoffs. Like, let's fucking go.
Yeah. Dave, are you at all worried, though? You say you want the whole lineup and everything. Are you at all worried that, like, a Final Destination thing this last week? Like, I mean, fucking Cease getting drilled by the Mark Pryor, same thing, and the elbow was like, oh, my God.
Thank God the ball hit the ground, because that could have been bad.
Yeah.
I mean, people forget that is, like, ultimately the injury that led.
Yeah, that
was a line drive off his fucking throwing elbow.
This one, the ball bounced once and then hit him, and it didn't. Like, that hit him right on the corner of the elbow. This just got Cease in the back of the tricep, so he's fine. He's
but you know what I mean? Oh, that's like Final Destination.
No, I hear you, but at this point, like, you gotta roll with it.
Yeah.
Like, if someone does say. I don't know what. I don't even want to talk about, like, specific injuries, but say an injury happens, like, that's just fate at this point, and you got to hope that.
And it feels like it's been the White Sox fate this year. That's why I ask.
I understand. It's a fair question. but you just gotta hope it doesn't happen.
Don't you kind of feel like they've reached their quota for injuries this year? I feel like that, like they just can't have anymore. It's like impossible.
That's not true. You absolutely can, but you just gotta hope that it doesn't.
Last question, at least for me, for the playoff series, Dave. Coming up, are we looking at a watch party? Are we looking at Lot B?
I gotta figure that out.
And what if Big Cat says he gives you the call, he taps you on the shoulder, says you're coming out to New York. We're putting you on the main stage.
That's probably what's going to happen the first 2 games, which is fine. And then I'd fly back. What I think, I already purchased tickets throughout the entire postseason. That's what they make you do. They make you buy every potential home game. You can't just buy like single tickets. So I just dropped a lot of fucking money on the tickets. Ideally, I would like to be at least 1 or 2 playoff games. I don't know how feasible that will be with this job. But what I think I am going to do is we're going to throw just a fucking rager for the blackout game. And then it's figured, I don't know, whatever time it starts, call it a 7 p.m. start. At 6:45, I would come back to the office and stream from here. But get a bunch of footage because that stadium is going to be on fucking fire. It's going to be so loud for the Houston Astros.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way he makes it back from Bridgeport.
No, I mean, I'll have to. Why do you got to fucking smug
just funny
ass
thinking
look
of
on your
Dave
face?
getting in an Uber from Lot B at like 6:30 while
It's
like,
going to
where
be
are you
tough.
going?
Yeah, I know. It's going to be tough.
Kenwo's going to beat you up.
It's going to be very, very tough.
Yeah, then I guess my last thing is, like I said, Chris is coming on for Thursday. He wrote a blog, said La Russa's criticism of the Tigers makes no sense. So I think there'll be some interesting perspectives, too, from a Tiger standpoint going into this weekend.
No,
and he's a Lions guy, so I think it'll be a good show.
I don't think that
Thursday.
the Tigers were throwing at Jose Abreu intentionally. Like, A.J. Hinch had his postgame. He's like, there's never really reason to hit Jose Abreu. First of all, it was an 0-2 count. Second of all, our reports say if you fucking leave a pitch over the plate, he's going to massacre the baseball. So we were trying to throw in, which is, and third of all, he's like, Jose Abreu is like a great ambassador of the game. He does everything right. There's no reason to ever throw to Abreu. And he's like, but at the same time, I understand, like, tempers flare. Like, he's been hit a billion times this year. I want to say it's 26 is the number I heard, which is a lot. And, like, he gets it. So I don't think there will be bad blood. I hope there's not. I think it'd be stupid if there is. But Tony La Russa is an old school guy. That's the exact answer I would expect him to give. Agree with it or not. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's Tony La Russa. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason, and
brother,
like I really think that like he's just so hell bent on his way and his methods that that's how it's always going to be with him.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. Like I don't give a shit. I don't have ill will towards the Tigers or anything for throwing inside. It's just fucking stop hitting them. I know it's not a conscious decision, but it be better.
Anything Wisconsin, Notre Dame?
No, I mean,
atmosphere, electric, like a bowl game, like a great bowl game. 50-50 split in the stadium.
Yeah.
That makes me think that should be kind of, because it was supposed to be in Lambeau last year, and that got canceled obviously because of COVID. So having it in Soldier was awesome. I think that should just be a regular series. So I don't know if it needs to be every year, but like those two fan bases, kind of equidistant from Chicago. You know, either direction. Old school football, at least to start. Both quarterbacks, you know, kind of yikes. But it was great atmosphere. I had a great time at the games. First time I've been to Soldier Field in I think 3 or 4 years. So Soldier Field kind of stinks, but yeah, it was great. It was great. I don't think Notre Dame's got the big one this weekend, Cincinnati. If they win that game, people are going to be irate because the path to 12-0 starts to look like it's very feasible. And I will honestly tell you, I know Notre Dame's not good this year. Like they're not good. But
nobody in college football.
Nobody else is really standing out either.
It's a weird year so far.
It's a very weird year. Like they could easily lose to like at Virginia Tech or like Sam Howell gets hot for North Carolina or something. Like I'm not saying that it's like a likely thing, but the path you beat Cincinnati is like a top 10 matchup. Then the rest of the way, USC's already fired their coach. Like it's gonna be one of those things, and I will get out in front of that like right now. And just be like, hey, look I know, but like you can only play who's on your schedule. Those teams didn't show up. Notre Dame did. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So I think I'm like ready to like get all the hate for Notre Dame this year because I have no expectations of them actually being a good team, but they might go undefeated.
Could you imagine if they get into the playoff?
I think they got a very good chance. If they win this weekend, they have a very, very good chance.
Yeah.
Stanford's not great. I mean, they get it's right there for them. The only other funny thing from the weekend too that we skipped on is that Dave and I were out in Old Town for a little bit and bumped into some of the hockey guys on the street, and Dave tried to convert Lucas Reichel, our first-round pick, into a baseball player.
That's very true.
So he's just like, this kid's a great athlete.
I had never heard of this kid in my life. I just started, general conversation like, hey, I'm Dave. He's like, hey, Lucas is
Lucas, yeah.
And immediate, like, he doesn't speak English. Like, he speaks it
a little bit.
Little bit. Like, you could tell he's German. He's got the hey, like that thick-ass German accent. And I'm just like, you know that when Nagy first met Trubisky and he's just like kind of eyeing him up and down, like
at the combine, he was still with the Chiefs at that, but
and that's kind of, I'm like, this kid is a fucking athlete. He just looks the part, like a mannequin, like one of the Under Armour mannequins.
So Dave's convinced that Lucas Reichel is a stud.
I think he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah,
like an absolute superstar hockey player.
I think he's going to be a good player too. But it's just funny that Dave is just like all over. Like, took one look at him on the street and was like, "This is the guy."
See, now wouldn't it be great if you could roll that into like chugging beer with him and teaching him how to chug beer? Like that would be.
No,
nice.
He's only 19. We can't drink with him.
I didn't realize he was so
he's a
young.
young kid. But if you were
the point stands,
if you were in
The
Germany,
last thing we need is White Sox Dave hanging out with 19-year-old professional athletes in the Shock.
Well, maybe Lucas Reichel strikes up a friendship with Dave when he starts teaching him how to like swing a baseball bat, and they can go to Oktoberfest in Germany together next year.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, fundamentals for any athlete don't really change all that much sport to sport.
Yeah, Seth Jones was there too. Seth Jones was in that group.
I didn't realize how fucking big he is. He's like 6'5", 6'6".
6'4", I'd say. But nice guy, really good.
Super good guy.
Super good guy. I think people are going to like him. The Hawks have a game on Wednesday night. They have their first.
Hockey has the fastest offseason.
This year in particular was faster because they started the season in January. They ended in July. Usually for the Hawks lately, they've been ending in April and starting in October, which I feel like is kind of similar to other sports. But yeah, the playoffs last 2 months. So, this one, July till turnaround right now is pretty quick. But I'm excited. I'm excited for just, it's been kind of a difficult offseason for the Blackhawks, but they made a lot of good moves. So we'll probably get more into that as the season approaches in the next few episodes. But it'll be nice to have hockey on TV again at night. So very excited for that, and hopefully Lucas sticks with hockey. So
there you go.
Yeah.
I got some stats.
Love stats.
The punt bowl was this past weekend, Illinois versus Purdue. There were 21 drives. Okay, 17 involved a long snapper. Like 17 ended with a long snapper going on the field. I don't know the statistics, but I would say 17 of 21 drives involving a long snapper has to be some kind of Big Ten record. 11 of which were punts, 9 of which came in the first half in succession.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally...
I mean, it was 9-6 at one point, right?
9-6, and then late touchdown.
I love it.
8 quarters of football for me between the Illini and the Bears. Not one offensive touchdown. They were 5-6 on field goal attempts, so between both organizations.
Not bad.
That's a good.
I think 22 total punts this weekend for my football teams.
It's a lot.
22 punts.
88% is a good number, right?
Is that what 17 over 21 is?
No. 5 of 6 field goals, I believe, would be 88%.
Yeah, we can. 83.
83.
We convert though.
Yeah. Round up.
Stay strong though. These Illini teams are figuring out a way to lose late. Last year it was losing in the first half.
That's an improvement.
13-9 for Illinois Purdue though. I mean that's on brand.
That's Big Ten football, baby.
So we're back.
Do you guys follow the 3-year Letterman account?
I don't think so.
It's a troll account or parody account of a dude who like lives in his glory days and talks about how he's like a youth football coaching legend and how he's a great little league umpire and all this shit. Just like a meathead fan parody account, and he's a SEC fan, and he quote tweeted the Illini score, and he's like, kill it with fire. Because people just don't appreciate good football, which is what Illinois and Purdue was this weekend.
Yeah, old school.
Wisconsin Notre Dame
1922 football.
Notre Dame did not look too dissimilar. If that
Yeah,
makes
that was
sense.
not like that. That's
Yeah.
not good quarterback play either.
It was atrocious until Drew Pine came in. Drew Pine.
Yeah, he looked pretty
Felt
good.
like an Outback bowl. Felt like a good bowl. All right, we'll be back on Thursday. We'll have an interview like Eddie was talking about. Subscribe.
We got a couple good interviews coming up next week.
Yep.
Can we say?
I mean, you always put yourself in that position. If you feel confident about it, go for it.
Yeah, it's as far. Well,
I mean, that's-
I'll disclaimer that things can change, but we do got Ozzie Gein coming in on Monday next week to record Tuesday's episode.
block off 6 hours.
That'll be good. Yeah.
No, I did say just about an hour.
Do you know one real thing, real quick? I think you should get on the Drew Pine bandwagon.
Why is that?
Little guy. You love a little guy.
I do like a little guy, Dan
Just
Purse.
listed it.
Actually, I was with Dan Purse a couple weeks ago at the Northwestern game, and he's a lot bigger than I thought he'd be. He was like,
Drew Pine's listed at 5'10".
so he's like 5'8".
Probably.
All right, I do like him.
Okay. All right.
Little Doug Flutie action.
Yeah.
He looked small.
He's small.
Who was that? I was thinking about him the other day. Why am I the old Colts DB safety?
Bob Sanders.
Bob Sanders.
Bob
who
Sanders,
just
one of my
fucking
all-time favorite football players.
kill people,
Yep.
and he was listed at 5'8". He was
Yeah.
probably about 5'6",
But he
5'7".
He was like
kill
Maurice
people.
Jones-Drew.
Yes.
But as a safety.
Yes.
Good Iowa guy.
Fuck Bob Sanders.
You don't like Bob Sanders?
Bob Sanders was on the Colts team that beat the Bears.
Yeah, but
he was
he
an
got-
he was fun to
integral
watch.
part of the right integral.
Yeah, but he was just so fucking
Did he
awesome.
say it
He
before?
was awesome. Is he a Hall of Famer?
No.
I think he only had like 6 years because he just like is so little and he just threw
Did
his
he win
body
a
around.
Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, I think yes, he definitely did. He
I think
might
it
have
was
been
that
like
year.
Yeah, might have been. He was like I remember looking it up one time because he is like again one of my all-time favorites. I think he had 2 years where he played 16 games. And the other years he was just always banged up. So, but shooting stars, they burn bright.
In
That was him.
2007, I believe he was Defensive Player of the Year. I got it up now.
Yeah.
It looked like best statistical season, but he played 2004 through 2011. But yeah, the last few years he only
Yeah,
played
so
a
that's
couple
like
games.
6
Yeah.
years, you know. So yeah,
I'm happy we didn't do this after the Bears game.
me too.
It's my last thing. That would have been terrible. All right, we'll see you guys Thursday. All gas.
No breaks.
DJ, play that shit.